Peace and salutations. My name is Michael J. Turner. I am the Southwest Shaman, the Earl of Arizona, and you are now shining with the Arizona sun. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here, which is wherever you're at. Coming with love from Arizona. This is StereoPHX 888, a channel about YouTube growth and personal development. I can't save you, and I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I can share with you how I'm saving myself. And right now I got some major thoughts to put on y'all because this thing is finally developing into where it needs to be. The approach that I'm coming with, focusing in on exactly what I need to say and what I'm trying to get across, how I'm trying to show up. If there's anything I can advise any small YouTube channel or anybody interested in doing this to do is to zero in on that, like channeling me, finding a way to fully channel myself into this and decide and determine exactly what it is I'm trying to get across. My message is a message of healing. I'm the Southwest Shaman because I'm healing myself off the top. Right behind me is a piece of my artwork. It's on the outside wall of my home. And that's but anyway, that's a side note, and there'll be plenty of that to come on my channel, plenty of artwork. I'm actually going to do a piece this weekend for an individual that has a bakery. The piece is going to be their business logo, their business thing. It'll be cool, so I'm going to do a video about that and document that. But what I just want to talk about something right now, because the whole thing, that the catalyst for me to create this whole thing and start like essentially a movement that I call abstract personal development was, essentially addiction, because that was like my battle, that I chose to embark on in my 20s, and what I've discovered is it's interesting. I had to get on here and talk about this because what I discovered was confirmed yesterday when I was watching a video from a channel called Neuro Knowledge, which is he's an individual. I follow every video he puts out, and I study it each video very closely and absorb all the information. He never fails to give some valuable, ultra valuable gem that I'm adding on to a treasure chest of information and knowledge itself. Well, the confirmation came because he did a video about addiction specifically, and this man, he doesn't deal in that realm. He deals in the realm of raising your consciousness and learning to live in your desired reality. He actually, individuals pay him large amounts of money for consultations. I'm trying to get there, but that's a side note. Anyway, so he doesn't do videos about addiction specifically, but see, that's where the whole thing, all the information can be applied to addiction because it's dealing with the subconscious mind. Addiction is nothing but a disposition of the mental, of the brain. I won't say like the brain, but it's like the brain is the physical tool that my consciousness uses on the mental, coming down from the mental plane, the causal plane, which is the causal plane. And so what I'm trying to get at here is, and this is within 5 minutes, I'm hitting y'all with all sorts. What I'm trying to get at here is that throughout, it's taken me about 18 years or so to get to this point. And throughout that time, I was using and abusing drugs that you'd be scared to use. And it took me all this time to uncover and finally discover the actuality of how an individual may want to consider approaching dealing with addiction if that's what you want to do. And I'm not saying that I'm completely free from addiction, because addiction is not just with substances. It could be with anything. It could be with a lot of things, probably more than you might even consider. But what I'm saying is that it has everything to do with how I'm thinking, and it has everything to do with what's going on in the spiritual realm, in the background, in the unseen. Because essentially what can be created through the power of my own thought is a spiritual entity that I feed through with energy that wants nothing to exist. It wants nothing more to exist. So it's not like it's a malevolent force necessarily, but it wants to exist at all costs. So the idea is that there's a technique that you can use to create a positive one, and that's called a tulpa. Right? Okay, so through the process of continual focused thought combined with emotion, you create literally spiritual entities that attach themselves. I've done basically, essentially, this is what's happened. But it's as simple as ignoring the thought, right? But simple, it's said, simply said, but not easily done, right? There's a whole process of going back and studying the greatest book that any individual can study, which is their own history, like their personal life history, and determining the point at which the emotion was created that created a void within myself, where I needed to go back and find at which point in my life there was an event, which event or whatever it was that happened that created an emotion powerful enough that I either gained or lost, right? Because I either gained something or lost something. Now, for the sake of conversation, we could explain it from the point of losing something, like as in when there's all sorts of things I could look at, but I'm trying to go back as far as possible and really examine when I was really young. I guess there was an incident where my father, what I remember is him pushing my mom through closet doors, right? And then after that, I don't remember, but from what I'm told, what happened is he took me and took off or whatever, and like the police were involved, and all this stuff happened, right? So there was obviously fear there. I was very frightened, I'm sure. I mean, there's a lot of things, the subconscious mind is blacking it out for whatever reason, but it's there, it's in there, right? So there was a void created, right? Like, as in, now I need something to make me feel not afraid, right? So the big thing is if I never learned to create that feeling within myself, before I found something else to do it for me, this is where addiction is formed. Now, it may not have been fear, because I haven't exactly gone back completely enough to identify exactly what this is for me. For you, it could be anything, who knows? But going back, right? So now, or maybe I gained a feeling of power because of the situation made me feel I don't know. Like I said, just giving examples, but so the void is created when that's not there, the power feeling. Either way. So I gotta feel that. There's so much I could examine from my childhood, but moving forward, right? Now, the idea of this substance, this external thing, providing this feeling, this emotion, it's a lie, right? But this is how the whole thing is created. The whole cycle gets created because the void is filled, right? The void is filled, and then the entity that's pushing me to go continuously fill this void is something I created, but it's literally a voice in my head, and I've described it in another video as it's just as subtle and just as quick as when your mind tells you you need to go to the bathroom, or you're hungry, or you're tired, or sit down or stand up. Like, you don't hear that or consciously say these things in your mind per se. Sometimes you do, but just think about that. Think about how quick the thought can pass through, and then boom, next thing you know, you're doing it. Well, that's kind of like addiction in a nutshell. The reason being, I had created these voices pushing me and driving me because they're spiritual entities. They get stronger and stronger, so it is a situation where if I fed this for years, that it's super strong. But here's the thing. The power gets taken back once I become indifferent and detach from that substance and provide and create that emotion within myself. Then it becomes, then I can elevate to the stage where maybe some individuals who do drink or whatever and can actually legitimately say that they're not an alcoholic or an addict because they can take it or leave it and actually legitimately not care inside, be indifferent because it is what it is. Maybe you do it. So I'm not saying to encourage anybody to do these things that they don't need to do to feel any type of way, but what I'm saying is that I should be able to get to a place where I could drink a beer or whatever and it doesn't send me on some type of weird thought loop pattern where I push myself to make bad choices based on whatever justification I've established within myself, which is actually some entity pushing me to do that, because I've now gotten to a place where my perspective, the lens I look through, is different. I don't have to fill that void that way because I can create the feeling within myself. That immediately takes away the power from that entity, because going about it in the way I had done it previously was to almost put like a band-aid on it, as in distract myself enough for a period of time, but then the thing is still there and it's been waiting and it's finally it just found a way to weasel to, for me to self-sabotage, all those things where it's like turn around like, damn, like, why did I do that? I know it was a bad choice. See, I definitely absolutely got to the point where I didn't care anymore. I was like, because I had assumed the idea and the belief of it's already written for me, and I'm not in control at all. Like, so I just have to roll with this anyway. But it's cool because I'm cool and I don't care about it. Like, it doesn't bother me. Well, I had that down, but it was misguided. And that's not the truth. That's not the case. It isn't. This can be whatever I choose. Manifestation takes place immediately as I step into knowing that it is what I know it is, and I'm cool with that, and I don't care if it isn't, basically, because it's all good anyway. It's a kind of a combination of those things. So, sure, I'm not already standing on the mountaintop shooting bottle rockets off the top of the mountain proclaiming this, but the feeling, I already have the feeling as though I already did that, because it's already guaranteed. It's there. It's, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm not there doing it right now, right this second, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Can you get down with that? So anyway, this is kind of, in a nutshell, in a very condensed time, I gave you what could be the answer and key to solving someone's struggle with addiction and substance abuse. Look, I have an ex-girlfriend that told me it's all how you think about it, and you just have to, like, not think about it, right? And it's true on a simple, very simple thing. It's like, but maybe that's impossible for some. But maybe you can also attest to the fact that when if I ignore something in my head, it does go away eventually. It gets weaker. Maybe I don't want to ignore it. It's difficult at first, so it's like, I choose to give in to that. You know, because it keeps popping up every 30 minutes. What's up with that? Isn't that a trip? Think about that. Like, have you ever told yourself you don't want to do something? Maybe, alright, maybe you don't want to drink soda, but the fridge is full of soda. So, or there's soda at the store. So every hour, every 30 minutes, you get this idea, I think I'm going to go get a soda. And then on the second thought, you're like, wait a minute. No, I'm not going to get a soda because I'm sticking to this. Okay, go ahead. Go about your business. 30 minutes later, yo, orange soda? Pepsi? Oh, wait. Why am I thinking that? You ever think about that? If you have, hit that like button. Put a comment down there about whatever it is that you've experienced this with. So, yeah. But for me, like I said, it took all of the conventional and what's available as far as how people deal with these substance abuse, mental health dispositions, things like that. That was the introduction and the some of the foundational things I had to understand. But what's going on? What the problem with that is that they tell you like a lot of the like information, but there's not like a solid like knowledge. It's like understanding of self, like as in, yo, they're still providing an external solution in a lot of cases. I mean, the basis of AA is, though, whether you like it or not, is it's a spiritual program, and you're supposed to have a spiritual experience because you couldn't do it by yourself. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can do it by yourself, but yes, it is absolutely 100% crucial that a spiritual channel is created through you in order to get the necessary energies, downloads, information, all these things, guidance, because it's really just stepping into the true you and the highest version of yourself. So it's not, and at the end of the day, it's not an external thing. So they're right, but what I don't like about it is that I don't need to proclaim verbally that I'm an addict, because I'm not. If I'm a look, if you're only an addict if you're in your if you're an addict. You're only an addict if you're an addict. You get it? Decide. I mean, once I'm done, do I need to still be that? No, I can be whatever I choose. What? Oh, I need to keep reminding myself because so I don't forget? No, I need to keep reminding myself that I'm whatever the hell else I am. I don't know. This is one thing I have a major problem with, because I now understand the power of verbalizing in the subconscious mind, and a lot of things. There's a lot of things. But none but love, and I would never discourage or try to turn anyone away from seeking help in that arena, because that is kind of my home at the same time. So don't nobody ever, you know. And I'm just out here trying to add a little something extra to what's available for people who maybe aren't finding their yellow brick road in what's already available. All right, peace.